When you try to speak English but constantly translate every sentence from your native language in your head, you are unknowingly slowing down your own fluency. This habit feels natural because it's how most people begin learning a new language, by connecting it to something familiar. But over time, what once helped you becomes the very thing that holds you back. Translation creates a mental delay. Instead of expressing your thoughts freely, your brain is busy converting words, checking grammar, and rearranging sentence structures. Real conversations don't give you that kind of time. People speak quickly, ideas flow continuously, and if your mind is stuck translating, you end up feeling lost, nervous, or silent. To truly understand how to stop translating, you first need to understand why your brain does it. Your brain always looks for the easiest path based on past learning. If you learned English through grammar rules, word meanings, and translation exercises, then your brain built a habit. First think in Hindi, then convert to English. This becomes automatic. It's not because you're bad at English, it's because your training was translation-based. The good news is that habits can be changed. Your brain is flexible, and with the right kind of practice, you can train it to think directly in English. The first and most important step is to simplify your thinking. Many learners try to speak complex sentences too early, which forces the brain to depend on translation. Instead, you need to bring your thinking level down to basic English. Think like a beginner, even if you know advanced words. For example, instead of trying to say, "I am contemplating whether I should proceed with this plan," you can think, "I am thinking about this plan." Simple language reduces pressure and allows your brain to respond faster. Fluency is not about using difficult words. It's about expressing ideas smoothly and naturally. A powerful technique to break the translation habit is thinking in English. This sounds difficult, but it starts very small. Begin with your daily routine. When you wake up, tell yourself in English, "I am waking up. I need to brush my teeth. I am going to eat breakfast." These are small, simple sentences, but they train your brain to create thoughts directly in English. At first, you might slip back into your native language, and that's okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Another important shift is learning words through meaning, not translation. When you learn a new English word, don't immediately search for its Hindi equivalent. Instead, try to understand it using examples, images, or situations. For instance, if you learn the word hungry, imagine the feeling of needing food, the sensation in your stomach, or a scene where someone is looking for something to eat. This creates a direct connection in your brain between the word and its meaning, without involving your native language. Over time, this method helps you understand English instantly, without translating. Listening is one of the most underrated but powerful tools in this process. When you listen to English regularly through movies, podcasts, or YouTube, you start recognizing patterns. Your brain begins to understand how sentences are naturally formed. Instead of thinking word by word, you start understanding phrases as a whole. For example, phrases like "I get it," "that makes sense," or "I'll figure it out" become familiar. You don't translate them, you just understand them instantly. This is how native speakers process language, and this is the stage you want to reach. It's also important to expose yourself to content that matches your level. If you watch very advanced English content, your brain will struggle and go back to translating. But if you choose slightly easier content, your brain can understand it directly. This builds confidence and reduces the need for translation. Gradually, you can increase the difficulty level as your understanding improves. Speaking practice is where real transformation happens. Many learners avoid speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes. But the truth is, if you don't speak, you will never break the translation habit. When you speak in real time, your brain doesn't have enough time to translate everything. It is forced to respond quickly using the English it already knows. This is exactly what you need. Start by speaking to yourself. Describe what you see, what you are doing, or what you are planning. Then move on to speaking with others, friends, language partners, or even online communities. Another effective method is thinking in chunks instead of building sentences word by word. Learn common phrases as complete units. For example, instead of thinking I plus am plus very plus tired, you can store and use the phrase I'm really tired. Similarly, phrases like at the end of the day, on the other hand, or as far as I know can be learned as single units. When you use chunks, your brain doesn't need to construct sentences from scratch, which reduces the need for translation and increases fluency. You should also focus on improving your reaction speed. In real conversations, fluency is not just about correctness, it's about how quickly you can respond. To train this, you can practice quick response exercises. For example, ask yourself simple questions like, what did I eat today? Or, what am I going to do tomorrow? And answer immediately in English without thinking too much. This builds your ability to think and respond directly in English. Mistakes are an unavoidable part of this journey. Many learners get stuck because they want to speak perfectly, but perfection slows you down. If you wait to form the perfect sentence, your brain will keep translating and correcting itself. Instead, allow yourself to make mistakes. Focus on communication, not perfection. Over time, your accuracy will improve naturally. Another important factor is patience. Stopping translation is not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process. At first, you will still translate sometimes. Then you will notice that you can think directly in English for simple sentences. Later, you will be able to handle more complex ideas without translating. Each stage is progress. The key is to keep practicing consistently. Immersion can speed up this process significantly. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Change your phone language to English. Think in English. Listen to English content daily. And try to use English in your daily interactions. The more exposure you have, the more your brain adapts. It starts treating English not as a foreign language, but as a natural mode of communication. You can also use writing as a tool. Write short paragraphs about your day, your thoughts, or your plans in English. When you write, try not to translate from your native language. Instead, think directly in English and express your ideas. Writing gives you time to organize your thoughts and strengthens your ability to form sentences naturally. Confidence plays a big role in this journey. When you believe that you can think and speak in English, your brain becomes more relaxed and responsive. Fear and self-doubt, on the other hand, push your brain back into the comfort zone of translation. So it's important to create a positive mindset. Celebrate small improvements and don't compare yourself with others. Over time, you will notice a shift. You will start understanding English without translating. You will respond more quickly in conversations. You will feel less anxious and more confident. And one day, you will realize that you are thinking in English automatically. That's the moment when you truly break free from translation. In the end, stopping translation is not about learning more vocabulary or memorizing more grammar rules. It's about changing how your brain processes the language. By simplifying your thoughts, practicing daily, focusing on meaning instead of translation, and using English actively, you can train your brain to think directly in English. It takes time, effort, and patience, but the result is worth it. You move from being a learner to being a user of the language, and that is the real goal of fluency.